Let's introduce our speaker today. His name is Dr. Andi Asukanya. Dr. Andi Asukanya today. Pagi ini biar aku dah terus
Ya, Dewi.
tiga. Baby, researchers, I am pretty well subject lot
Setan muncul.
First academic qualification is purpose graduate is Doctor of Education.
Please lah, jangan lemot.
Postgraduate Doctor of Education, majoring in English language education.
Kalau belum graduate,
Graduate. Doctor of Education, majoring in English language education. First law of secondary education, majoring in English language education, also day. Universitas Muhammadiyah Parepare. In first senior high school in SMA Negeri 1 Parepare, junior high school in SMP Negeri 2 Parepare, primary school di Negeri 24 Parepare. For his short course, his training di KPK, PG, sandwich program, Northern.
Bentar, pembacaan Indonesia Raya itu kapan?
Indonesia Raya setelah pembukaan ini buka good morning ladies and gentlemen bla 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 to show our respect united let us gathering for national anthem langsung setelah pembukaan langsung bacaan
dari kisah-kisah yang telah lama hilang dan kejadiannya inspirasi di masa
Mana?
saya
Ada. Kan ganti-ganti nih, jadi harus buka banyak. Nanti gak sih? Karena aku masa mau buka ini sih, kan gak mungkin.
our pleasure to welcome very best member
Mistis gak sih? Oke, mistis. Masa gak mau bilang mem di situ? Mistis.
It is our pleasure to welcome Nurses Durham and today.
Iya ada bawa teh. Oh bawa sih.
She was born in Probolinggo and 16 of July in 1980. Right? And then she stayed itu setelahnya hijab
Yang apa?
yang kampus berkadaban baru Pak Fakultas Hukum. Full screen lah. Ini cek enggak di Google ini.
Oh di sini. Ini ada Chrome ini. Masa?
Iya.
Mana?
Kan dia tinggal itu.
Wih.
Mulai dah.
Mukaku coy. Harus cantik ini.
Tak siap aku.
Unuja streaming dah. Oh itu. Kok gitu? Aku tak boleh dah.
Kelihatan.
Coba lihat, ya Fit mau share screen.
urusan kehidupan manusia yang tahu dari keluarga. Dapat pada inspirasi yang dimulai mengajarkan kepercayaan, kultural, dan nilai yang mempengaruhi perilaku manusia dan interaksi sosial. Ini kisah-kisah yang telah hilang dan menjadikannya inspirasi sekarang, praktek kultural dan nilai yang mempengaruhi perilaku manusia dan interaksi sosial. Menghargai kisah-kisah yang telah lama hilang dan menjadikannya inspirasi di masa depan. Ada di menjelajahi spektrum luas interaksi sosial, budaya, sejarah, seni, filsafat, dan bahasa. Itulah ilmu sosial dan humaniora. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat datang di Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora Universitas Nurjati. Penyelenggara pendidikan tinggi yang berdedikasi untuk mencetak pemimpin kritis dan agen perubahan di dalam masyarakat. Bergabunglah dengan kami dalam perjalanan mengeksplorasi dunia ilmu sosial dan humaniora sebagai wadah di mana gagasan dan inovasi bertemu untuk membentuk masa depan yang lebih baik. Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora dan unit pengelola dan studi Universitas Nurjati menawarkan berbagai program yang dirancang untuk mempersiapkan mahasiswa berintegritas dan berwawasan luas dalam dunia kerja. Prospek kerja lulusan dalam bidang program studi ilmu hukum, hakim, diplomat, notaris, konsultan hukum, dan bidang profesi relevan lainnya. Bidang program studi ekonomi, lingkungan, pemasaran, sumber daya manusia, konsultan bisnis keuangan, dan perbankan. Serta bidang program studi pendidikan matematika, program studi pendidikan bahasa Inggris, belajar guru, auditor, dosen, konsultan lain, instruktur pelatihan kejuruan, dan edukasi. Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora Universitas Nurjati dilengkapi dengan fasilitas terbaru untuk mendukung pembelajaran dan pendidikan, mulai dari pesertaan dan atas sumber daya, laboratorium penelitian, hingga ruang kelas yang aktif dengan menciptakan lingkungan yang kondusif untuk eksplorasi intelektual. Di Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora, pembelajaran menjadi baik di dalam dan di luar kelas. Melalui berbagai komunitas, organisasi mahasiswa dan kegiatan ekstrakurikuler, mahasiswa mendapatkan kesempatan untuk mengembangkan keterampilan kepemimpinan, berkolaborasi dalam proyek, dan berpartisipasi dalam penelitian yang memberi dampak bagi masyarakat nasional dan global. Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora Universitas Nurjati, tempat di mana masa depan dipersiapkan, pemimpin dibentuk, dan perubahan dimulai. Bergabung dengan kami dan menjadi bagian dari komunitas yang bergerak menuju masa depan yang lebih cerah dan inklusif. So, welcome to the world of Sociality Universitas Nurjati. Apa kode masuk ke yang email? Apa coba nih? Iya, apa nih? Iya, siapa dulu? Belum punya, kan mereka, apa dia kode masuk?
Hakikatnya, setiap tempat adalah sekolah. Hakikatnya, setiap orang adalah guru. Setiap kata jadikanlah karya. Sebab itulah yang membuat kita menjadi ada. Setiap karya menjadikan bakti bagi sesama. Sebab itulah yang membuat kita menjadi guru. Semesta alam dalam ayat kita. Namun tekad dan kedisiplinan adalah Tuhan sesungguhnya. Hakikatnya, setiap tempat adalah sekolah. Hakikatnya, setiap orang adalah guru. Setiap kata jadikanlah kami.
Coba tekniknya juga.
Sebab itulah yang membuat kita menjadi ada. Setiap karya jadikan bakti bagi sesama. Sebab itulah yang membuat kita menjadi guru. Semesta alam adalah kekayaan kita. Namun tekad dan kedisiplinan adalah hal yang sesungguhnya. Hakikatnya, setiap tempat adalah sekolah. Hakikatnya, setiap orang adalah guru. Setiap kata jadikanlah kami. Sebab itulah yang membuat kita menjadi ada. Menjadikan bakti bagi sesama. Sebab itulah yang membuat kita menjadi guru. Semesta alam adalah kekayaan kita. Tekad dan kedisiplinan adalah tukang sesungguhnya.
Standby. Keren.
Jurusan kehidupan manusia yang kaya dan beragam, berakar pada eksplorasi yang dalam, mengajarkan kepercayaan, praktek kultural, dan nilai yang mempengaruhi perilaku manusia dan interaksi sosial, menghargai kisah-kisah orang-orang hilang, dan menjadikan inspirasi di masa depan. Hadir menjadi spektrum luas interaksi sosial, budaya, sejarah, seni, filsafat, dan bahasa. Itulah ilmu sosial dan ilmu orang. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bersama kita, sosial dan budaya Universitas Indonesia menyelenggarakan kasih untuk mempercepat definisi dan perubahan di dalam masyarakat. Periode kami dalam jalan mengakselerasi dunia sosial dan kewarganegaraan sebagai wadah di mana kebiasaan fasilitator lingkungan baru masa depan yang berpindah. Sosial dan kemanusiaan sebagai
dulu yang dimaksudkan kirim ke Rani.
menawarkan berbagai
Dan kamu Rani.
langkah untuk mempersiapkan aktivitas dan pengawasan secara benar
Tak tahu apa. Bila dan kirim ke
dan program studi
apa ada yang tinggal tidak
dan mendukung dengan hasil
tak tolong
yang program
masuk kerungnya duit berarti kamu nanti.
sebagai guru
Ya sekolah.
Fakultas Sosial dan Kemanusiaan Universitas Indonesia berkumpul dengan fasilitas terbaru dan pembelajaran dan pendataan yang sudah negara, pengembangan penelitian hingga kolaborasi dengan menciptakan lingkungan yang kondusif untuk eksplorasi intelektual. Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora pembelajaran budaya dalam menjadi orang tua ini juga dari komunikasi organisasi mahasiswa daripada mahasiswa mendapatkan kesempatan mendapatkan tampilan kepemimpinan berkolaborasi dalam proyek dan berpartisipasi dalam penelitian yang bermanfaat bagi masyarakat nasional di sekitar. Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora Universitas Nurjati, bagaimana depan dipersiapkan, pemimpin dibentuk dan perubahan dimulai. Bergabung dengan kami dan
Banyak cam scanner kan ya? Banyak cam scanner. Cam scanner.
Samsung Universitas Nurjati.
Nah, macam tap dulu lah.
Jurusan kehidupan manusia yang kaya dan beragam, berakar pada eksplorasi yang mendalam, mengajarkan kepercayaan, praktek kultural, dan nilai yang mempengaruhi perilaku manusia dan interaksi sosial. Menghargai kisah-kisah yang telah lama hilang dan menjadikannya inspirasi di masa depan. Ada yang juga tulis spektrum luas interaksi sosial, budaya, sejarah, seni, filsafat, dan bahasa. Itulah ilmu sosial dan orang.
Ada.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat datang di Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora Universitas Nurjati. Penyelenggara pendidikan tinggi yang berdedikasi untuk mencetak pemimpin kritis dan agen perubahan di dalam masyarakat. Bergabunglah dengan kami dalam perjalanan mengeksplorasi dunia ilmu sosial dan humaniora sebagai wadah di mana gagasan dan inovasi bertemu untuk membangun masa depan yang lebih baik. Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora dari Komite Pengelola yang sendiri di Universitas Nurjati menawarkan berbagai program yang dirancang untuk mempersiapkan mahasiswa berintegritas dan berwawasan luas dalam dunia kerja. Harus lulusan dalam bidang program studi ilmu hukum, diploma, notaris, konsultan, dan bidang profesi reformasi, bidang program studi ekonomi, sebagai akuntan, pemasaran, sumber daya manusia, konsultan bisnis keuangan, dan perbankan, serta bidang program studi pendidikan matematika, program studi pendidikan bahasa Inggris sebagai guru, auditor, dosen, konsultan karir, instruktur pelatihan kejuruan, dan edukasi. Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora Universitas Nurjati melengkapi dengan fasilitas terbaru untuk mendukung pembelajaran dan pendidikan, mulai dari kaitan dengan tata sumber daya, dengan menciptakan lingkungan yang kondusif untuk eksplorasi dengan lengkap. Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora pembelajaran lebih baik di dalam dan di luar kelas melalui berbagai komunitas, organisasi mahasiswa, dan kegiatan ekstrakurikuler. Mahasiswa mendapatkan kesempatan untuk mengembangkan keterampilan kepemimpinan, berkolaborasi dalam proyek, dan berpartisipasi dalam penelitian yang memberi manfaat bagi masyarakat nasional dan global. Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora Universitas Nurjati, bagaimana masa depan dipersiapkan, pemimpin dibentuk, dan perubahan dimulai. Bergabunglah dengan kami dari belajar dan komunitas yang bergerak
Dan dari
masyarakat yang lebih keras dan inklusif. So, welcome to the world of Samsung Universitas Nurjati.
Siapa ini yang ngaji? Bukan ya?
Jurusan kehidupan manusia yang
Ada profil yang baru.
dakar pada eksplorasi lingkungan. Belajar percaya. Dengan
Jadi gantian ini
manusia dan interaksi sosial. Hargai kisah-kisah yang telah lama hilang dan menjadikannya inspirasi di masa depan. Agar menjadi spektrum luas interaksi sosial, budaya, sejarah, seni, filsafat, dan bahasa. Juga budaya sosial di negara. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat datang di Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora Universitas Sriwijaya. Penyelenggara pendidikan inti yang berdedikasi untuk mencetak pemimpin dan agen perubahan di dalam masyarakat. Kemudian kami dalam perjalanan eksplorasi dunia ilmu sosial dan humaniora sebagai wadah di mana gagasan dan inovasi bertemu untuk membangun masa depan yang Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora sebagai unit pengelola program studi di Universitas Sriwijaya menawarkan berbagai program yang dirancang untuk mempersiapkan mahasiswa berintegritas dan berwawasan luas dalam dunia kerja. Prospek kerja lulusan dalam bidang program studi hukum, hakim, diploma, notaris, konsultan, bidang profesi relevan lainnya. Bidang program studi ekonomi sebagai akuntan, pemasaran, sumber daya manusia, asupan bisnis keuangan, dan perbankan. Serta bidang program studi pendidikan matematika, program studi pemerintahan dan bahasa Inggris sebagai guru, auditor, dosen, konsultan publik, instruktur pelatihan kejuruan, dan editor shift. dan mengerti perilaku manusia dan interaksi sosial, menghargai kisah-kisah yang telah lama hilang, dan menjadikannya inspirasi di masa depan. Agar mempelajari spektra luas interaksi sosial, budaya, sejarah, seni, filsafat, dan bahasa, adalah ilmu sosial dan budaya orang. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat datang di Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora Universitas Nurul Jati. Penyelenggara pendidikan tinggi yang berkreasi untuk mencetak politik dan agen perubahan di dalam masyarakat. Bergabunglah dengan kami dalam perjalanan eksplorasi dunia sosial dan humaniora. Seperti wadah, di mana kebiasaan dan inovasi berperan untuk membangun depan yang lebih baik. Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora sebagai unit pengelola Fakultas Studi di Universitas Nurul Jati menawarkan berbagai program yang dirancang untuk mempersiapkan mahasiswa berintegritas dan berwawasan luas dalam dunia kerja. Prospek kerja lulusan dalam bidang program studi ilmu hukum, hakim, diplomat, notaris, konsultan hukum, dan bidang profesi relevan lainnya. Bidang program studi ekonomi sebagai akuntan, masyarakat, sumber daya manusia, konsultan bisnis keuangan, dan perbankan, serta bidang program studi pendidikan matematika, dan program studi pendidikan bahasa Inggris sebagai guru, auditor, dosen, konsultan praktik. Perspective pelatihan individual yang favorite type of habit is serving the flow of the party. Fakultas Sosial yang digelar di Universitas Nurul dilengkapi dengan fasilitas terbaru mendukung pembelajaran dari pendidikan, mulai dari perpustakaan dan akses negara, penelitian hingga rumah kelas yang interaktif, melalui ciptakan lingkungan yang harus eksplorasi intelektual. Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora pembelajaran pribadi baik di dalam dan di luar kelas melalui berbagai komunitas, organisasi mahasiswa, kesempatan untuk menggunakan keterampilan kepemimpinan, kolaborasi dalam proyek, dan berpartisipasi dalam penelitian yang memberikan dampak bagi masyarakat nasional dan global. Fakultas Sosial dan Universitas di mana orang masih dalam siapa, pemimpin dibentuk dan perubahan dimulai. Bergabunglah dari
Makanya nggak boleh deh gitu.
So, welcome to the world of self-stimulating Universitas Nurul Jati. Hey.
Oke, dah. Mulai ini dah.
Jurusan kehidupan manusia yang kaya dan belajar. Berangkat pada ekspresi yang percaya, menjaga kepercayaan, untuk perjuangan, dan mengaruhi manusia dan interaksi sosial. Menghargai kisah-kisah yang telah hilang dan menjadikannya inspirasi di masa depan. Agar menjelajahi spektra luas interaksi sosial, budaya, sejarah, seni, filsafat, dan bahasa. Itulah ilmu sosial dan humaniora. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat datang di Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora Universitas Nurul Jati. Penyelenggara pendidikan tinggi yang berdedikasi untuk mencetak pemimpin dan agen di dalam masyarakat. Bergabunglah dengan kami dalam perjalanan eksplorasi dunia sosial dan humaniora sebagai wadah di mana gagasan dan inovasi bertemu untuk membangun masa depan yang lebih baik. Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora Sebagian unit pengelola program studi di Universitas Nurul itu menawarkan berbagai program yang dirancang untuk mempersiapkan mahasiswa berintegritas dan berpartisipasi dalam dunia kerja. Prospek program lulusan dalam bidang program studi itu adalah hakim, diploma, notaris,
Kayaknya langsung masuk ya.
dan bidang profesi relevan bidang program studi ekonomi sebagai akuntan, pemasaran, sumber daya manusia, konsultan bisnis keuangan, dan perawatan, serta bidang program studi pendidikan matematika dan program studi pendidikan bahasa Inggris sebagai guru, auditor, dosen, konsultan karir, struktur pelatihan kejuruan, dan edukasi. Aplikasi sosial yang menyelenggarakan Universitas jadi melengkapi dengan fasilitas terbaru untuk mendukung pembelajaran dan pendidikan. Kemudian perpustakaan, eksplorasi intelektual.
Well, the event is going to start in 3 minutes later. Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Are all of you ready to join this event? And I hope that you are staying in well condition to follow our agenda today. Well, good morning, everyone. Distinguished keynote speakers, honorable guests, respected lecturers and presenters, and all participants joining us from different countries. Well, first of all, let us express our deepest gratitude to Almighty God for His blessing so that we are able to gather today in this international conference in good health and hike and tourism. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all participants. It is truly an honor to have you with us today. My name is Naili Aziza, and I will be your master of ceremony for today's event. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now entering on the opening ceremony of this international conference. It is a great pleasure
an honor for us to welcome distinguished speakers and participants from various countries. Your presence today reflects the spirit of global academic and collaboration and also knowledge sharing. Ladies and gentlemen, before we go to the next agenda, let me read the rule of today's agenda. First is attendance and punctuality. Participants and presenters are required to log into the conference platform Zoom at least 10 minutes before the session start. Second, presentation and duration. Each presenter are given a maximum of 5 minutes. 5 minutes for material delivery. Last 5 minutes after the four presenters have finished, there will be a short question period. The presenter must stop the presentation when the time runs out according to the moderator's instructions. For the third use of camera and microphone, presenters are required to turn on their cameras during presentations. Other participants' microphones must be mute except during the Q&A sessions. For communication technique, participants are forbid from interrupting, use the raise hand or chat features to ask questions as directed by moderator. For the fifth, question and answer sessions. Questions should be short, relevant, and submitted after the presenter has finished presenting the materials and with the moderator's permissions. The sixth should be the prohibition and order that participants are prohibited from disturbing the flows of the presentations, sharing the meeting links with unauthorized parties, recording a session without the committee's permissions. Seven, complaints with moderators. All participants are presenters are required to comply with the moderator's instructions to ensure the smooth and orderly running in conference. The last use of virtual background, all presenters are required to use the official conference virtual background as per the committee's regulations. Well, ladies and gentlemen, to show our respect and unity, let us stand together for the national anthem. To all participants, kindly stand wherever you are. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now we will proceed to the welcoming remarks. It is our great honor to invite Dr. Husnul Muali MPD to deliver the welcoming remarks. To Dr. Husnul Muali MPD, the time is yours.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Distinguished keynote speakers, respected scholars, honorable guests, presenters, and participants from various countries. Good morning and warm greeting to. It's a great honor and privilege to me to welcome you to the International Conference on English Education and Technology. This conference stands as a meaningful academic forum that brings researchers, and practitioners exchange ideas. The latest finding and reflected critically on the dynamic relationship with English education and technological innovation contemporary world. We are deeply honored by the presence of our distinguished speaker and expert, Dr. Andi Asrifan, Ms. Duratul Hikmah, Dr. Abdul Pur, Profesor Dr. Akdam Zedilov, Dr. Mona Tamam, and Luis Miguel Oliveira de Barros. Your scholarly contribution and global perspective are invaluable, and we are confident that your insight will enrich our understanding and inspire meaningful academic discourses. This in era marked by rapid technology transformation, English education faces both unprecedented challenge and remarkable opportunities. Digital platform, artificial intelligences, and emerging learning technologies are reshaping how language are taught, learned, and assessed. This conference, therefore, seeks not only to respond to this change, but also to envision innovative, inclusive, and sustainable pedagogical practice that are grounded in research and responsive to global education. We hope this conference will serve as a productive space for intellectual engagement, interdisciplinary collaboration, and international networking. May this discussion of the coming session contribute to the advance of knowledge, foster future research partnership, and generate practical insight that can be implemented in diverse educational context. Finally, I would like to express my deep appreciation to all committee speakers and participants whose dedication has made this conference possible. Your commitment reflects our shared belief in the transformative power of educational and technology. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much for the inspiring welcoming remarks. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we now continue with the plenary season 1. Before all, let me introduce our speaker today. His name is Dr. Andi Asrifan, SPD MPD. For his academic qualification, Doctor of Education major in English Language Education, Universitas Negeri Makassar. Master of Education major in English Language Education, Universitas Negeri Makassar. Bachelor of Secondary Education major in English Language Education, Universitas Muhammadiyah Parepare. SMA Negeri 1 Parepare, SMP Negeri 2 Parepare, SD Negeri 48 Parepare, and for the short course, the PKPI Sandwich Program, Northern Illinois University, DeKalb, Illinois, USA at 2015. So, ladies and gentlemen, to shorten our time, we are kindly invite the speaker to deliver the presentation. For Mr. Andi Asrifan, SPD, NPD, the time is available. Hello, good morning, Dr. Andi Asrifan. Are you have been joining us? Hello, excuse me, Dr. Andi Asrifan. Hello, good morning, Dr. Andi Asrifan. Have you been entering to this Zoom? Okay, because he is not here now, let us continue to the second plenary session. For next, move on to the plenary season 2. It is our pleasure to welcome Mrs. Duratul Hikmah SS MPD. Okay, honorable ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce our speaker today, that is Mrs. Duratul Hikmah.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes, Mrs.
Okay. I will share my screen first before I do my presentation.
Okay, it's your pleasure.
All right, since this time for me, thank you for the committee to give me a chance to present my article. Well, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, distinguished colleagues, respected
Morning,
guests,
ma'am.
ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it is such a great honor to be here today, and I would like to thank the organizers for the kind invitation. My name is Duratul Hikmah from Universitas Nurul Jadid, Indonesia, and today I would like to share a reflection on artificial intelligence, academic writing, and what this technological shift means for us as lecturers and educators. Let me start with a moment from my own classroom. Once day, a student submitted an academic essay that looked perfect. The grammar was excellent, the structure was clear, and for a moment I felt relieved. And I thought maybe my teaching process is working. Then I asked a simple question to him. Why did you choose this argument? Why did you choose this argument? And unfortunately, he paused, smiled, and said, sorry, ma'am, I mean, I'm really not sure with my argument because I asked something else to help me. What is it? ChatGPT helped me. Oh my God. I wasn't angry at that time. I wasn't surprised, but I felt unsettled. Not because of the technology, but because of it made me feel as a lecturer. I I remember asking myself quietly, if AI can do this so well, what exactly is my role now? The question stayed with me and it became the starting point of the study. In the last few years, we know that AI has entered higher education very quickly. Tools like ChatGPT, Grammarly, and Killbot are now part of the students' daily academic lives. Most conversation about AI focus on efficiency. Students write faster, feedback is instant, everything looks productive. Because academic writing has never been just about producing a clean text. For us, we know that academic writing is the process of thinking, process of drafting, revising, sometimes adopting our own ideas and refining ideas. Through that struggle, from the process of this, the student develop an academic voice. But when AI enters this space, it changed more than writing. It changed the relationship between effort and learning. And for lectures, it goes deep. It goes deeper. I mean, it challenges how we assess the students, how we define the quality of students' work, and even how relevant we feel in our own classroom. Yet when AI is discussed in education, most of research only discuss about the effectiveness of the use of AI and everything, except the lecture's emotional and professional experiences are often missing. I mean, so today I want to make one argument that AI in academic writing classroom is not just a technical or pedagogical issue. It is a human experience. It forces lecturers to rethink who they are as professionals and to deal with emotional, social, and professional challenges. To understand this, I listened to the lived experiences of academic writing lecturers who are facing AI in their everyday teaching. And the result is one clear pattern from the interviews was ambivalence. Lecturers are not against AI, of course. In fact, many of us, including me, including myself, use it. We use AI to get ideas, prepare materials, and rethink our teaching. One lecturer said that AI helps me a lot, prepare materials, and rethink our teaching. One lecturer said that AI helps me a lot. Yep. So we know that in our everyday teaching, I'm sure that AI helps us a lot, but sometimes it also makes our job easier because we know that in assessing students' work, it becomes the burden of us. I myself feel anxious. I'm anxious when reading students' work that look perfect, but does not reflect real understanding. In my own classes, I started asking the student to explain their writing orally. Often, the police text could not be explained in their own words. So for me and for the lecturers that I listen their life experience, AI becomes a double-edged sword. It supports teaching, but also creates constant doubt of the students' work here. And the second is AI does not only change teaching practices, it changes how lecturers see themselves. Traditionally, we know that academic writing lecturers are seen as technical expert. We teach grammar, structure, and also citation. But AI now can do many of these things instantly. One lecturer said to me that if I only see myself as someone who corrects grammar, I will become irrelevant. No. Okay, we continue the discussion. If I only see myself as someone who corrects grammar, I will become irrelevant. Because of these lectures began redefine their roles. They no longer focus only on the final text. They focus on thinking, reflection, ethic, and digital literacy. They see themselves as facilitators, not as instructors anymore. However, this shift is not always supported. Some lecturers feel they are isolated when their ethical concern about AI are not shared by colleagues or institutions. So professional identity is not simply changing, it is being negotiated, often quietly and individually. This identity shift has a real impact on lecturers' well-being. First, emotionally, many lecturers, I am included into this, many lecturers feel anxious and uncertain. They ask themselves, am I still assessing fairly? Because we know that in academic writing, we have several assessment dealing with writing, but by the presence of AI, the product of the students' work become near perfect. And then the second is, are students really learning, or they or just copying or just instructing the AI to make the essay and then submitting to us? And then the third is, do I still matter as a lecturer? I felt this myself. There was days when I went home not physically tired but mentally unsettled. Socially, some lecturers feel alone. They are few shared discussion about AI ethic. Clear institutional guidelines are often missing. This one of the lecturers statement, I feel isolated because I strongly adhere to the value of obedience. So there is one lecturer that limit herself to use the AI, and also limit the students' work to the use of AI, but he or she is isolated because of this limitation. While the friend are accepted of the use of AI, but he or she limited himself to use AI. So it makes she is socially isolated. It means that AI becomes a personal burden, not a collective responsibility. And the last is professional well-being. Interestingly, many lecturers also describe renewed motivation. AI pushes them to be more creative, of course, because of the presence of AI, make the teacher think that I cannot teach traditionally. I have to develop my teaching style, and also it motivated AI, it motivated the teacher or the lecturer to teach creatively, of course. One lecturer said to me that I no longer pretend to know everything. I learn together with my students. So AI does not simply harm lecturers' well-being at all. It reshapes it emotionally strained, socially challenging, but sometimes professionally energizing. Okay, we come to the conclusion. Let me return to the question I asked at the beginning. If AI can write so well, so what is my role as a lecturer? This study suggests that lecturers are not being replaced actually, but we are being repositioned. The problem is that this repositioning often happens without enough institutional support. If higher education focuses only on adapting technology, we risk ignoring the emotional and ethical work lecturers do every day. So the real question is not whether AI belongs in education. The real question is whether our institutions are ready to support the humanity of educators in the age of artificial intelligence. Thank you. I give the chance to the moderator. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much for Mrs. Dura for the insightful presentation. Well, let's Okay, now ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on to the question and answer section. For the one going to ask, you can raise your hands.
Or maybe there are many, I beg your pardon to disturb the moderators. Maybe
okay.
some lecturers here want to share the experience in teaching writing with the presence of AI, maybe.
Pakai bahasa Indonesia. I wanna ask Miss Dura. Excuse me. I wanna ask, using AI is indeed very helpful for students in completing various assessments, especially in writing. What tips can help students use AI more wisely and understand the material better, considering that many students currently just copy directly without understanding the content first?
I beg your pardon, Mbak Indah. Can you repeat your question? Sorry.
Okay. Using AI is indeed very helpful for students in completing various assignments, especially in writing. What tips can help students use AI more wisely and understand the material better? Considering the many students currently just copy directly without understanding the content first. Thank you.
All right, I think there are two questions here. First from Mbak Indah, and the second is from Ibu Vita Venditi Ningtyas in chat room. Thank you for the question. First, I will answer the question from Mbak Indah. Okay, what are some practical tips for using AI wisely in academic writing? Because we know that it seems that we cannot spare ourselves from the use of AI, right? In everyday life, like we want to chat our lecture, maybe we use AI. In a simple thing, we use AI. In my opinions, first is AI should be used as a support tool only. So this is not our cut, of course. As I explained it in our classes, we do not believe 100% to ChatGPT or such kind of AI tools. It cannot be a replacement for thinking. AI can help students generate ideas, improve clarity, or check language. But the core argument in and interpretation should come from the student, of course. The second is transparency is important. Students should be encouraged to explain how they use AI and for what purposes. This help build academic honesty rather than fear. And then third is focus on the writing process. We know that in our academic writing classes, the lecturer, of course, give you the material about the structure of academic writing. So what comes first, and then the second until the last part of the writing. So you have to master the structure first before give it to AI. Your instruction or your prompt not only instruct it to give what you want, but you have to use your critical thinking for the result of AI. Can it be accepted, or should it be criticized? The results. And finally, ethical guidance matters. You have to know that the use of any technological tools in our daily life has ethical use. You need to understand that using AI responsibly is part of becoming an academic writer, not just completing an assignment. So you are a student as academic, we know the term in Indonesia, civitas akademik, ya. And you also, the scholar will be. So you have to give yourself the limitation when I should use AI and when I should believe on it. That's my tips. Uh, does it answer your question, Mbak Indah?
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. With my pleasure, Mbak Indah. And the second is from Ibu Vita Venditianing Tias. I don't know whether I should call you as Mbak or Ibu. I don't know whether you are lecturer or still a student. The most important is maybe I will call you Mbak. Yeah. Okay, Mbak Vita, you asked my opinion how to distinguish whether a writing is student's original work or AI creation. Thank you. Are all fine, bro. Thank you. Thank you, Mbak Vita. My answer is this is one of the challenging questions. Yeah, the challenging question lecture faced today, including myself, of course. In my experience, there is no single technical tool, I mean, that can reliably tell us whether the text is fully original or AI generated. AI detection software can help, but it is never fully accurate. We know that although we have Turnitin for AI checker plagiarism, it can be still manipulated by the user of AI, right? I have shifted my focus on the final product to the learning process. So in the submission of what is that? Final work of the student, I always ask the process of he or she in writing the essay. I'm not constantly ask he or she to submit it directly to the e-learning, but I will ask the process. How could you how could you find the process of academic argument? So and then after that, how could you give the example of this? So I asked the process of his critical thinking. That's my personal experience in detecting the use of AI. Does it answer your question, Mbak Vita?
Yes, Ibu. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So it is always challenging.
Yeah, of course. With pleasure, Mbak Vita. And we continue to the next question. What is your opinion about lectures limiting the use of AI in classroom learning? It is also challenging for us. I ever asked the team that focus on networking in my university. So how if we limit the network for the use of AI in our university? But unfortunately, the student can access AI in their home, right? Not in the classroom, not in the classrooms. I think that it is merely useless, but not all useless, because they still find the cheat way to use AI in their writing product. So one thing that I use, as I explained to Mbak Vita, that I must know the process of their writing, the process of how they use the critical thinking to put their idea to the writing. Does it answer your question, Mas Akbar Aldi Kautar from Winsu?
Oke Mbak, thank you.
With pleasure.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am, for your answer, and also thanks for your questions. Maybe anyone else going to ask?
Yes, can I? Sorry.
Sorry?
Yeah. Uh,
Okay.
hello, ma'am. Assalamualaikum. Um, I just want to ask your opinion. So, based on your PBTX presentation, in the end, what should we assess first? The readiness of the teacher, the readiness of the systems, or the acquisition of the AI tools itself? That more important to balancing this AI era, because it's kind of aligned with what will we present this afternoon, actually the materials. Thank you.
I beg your pardon because I also writing your question here. So what should we assess first, the readiness of teacher or?
The readiness of teacher, the readiness of the system, or the acquisition of the AI tools itself.
All right, all right. I will try to answer your challenging question, of course. This is very important question. I would argue that the order really matters. In many institutions, the first step is often the acquisition of AI tools. But my experience and the finding of my preliminary study suggests that this is not the best place to start. Before tools, we need to assess teachers' readiness, of course. This does not only mean technical skill, but also confidence, ethical understanding, and emotional readiness to adapt. If lecturers feel anxious or unsupported, even the most advanced tool will not be used meaningfully, of course. At the same time, teacher readiness cannot stand alone. It must be supported by system readiness, clear policies, shared guidelines, and space for dialogue. Without this, lecturers are left to carry the burden individually. Because as I explained before, that many lecturers feel anxious for the use of AI because there is no ethical from the institution. So I would say the priority should be first human readiness, I mean the teacher readiness, and the second is system readiness, and only then the acquisition of and tools. That's my answer, but
Thank you, Miss. I can picture it a little bit.
okay.
Thank you.
With pleasure, Mbak Anis.
Okay, thank you. Maybe for next questions. Anyone wants to ask? Okay, thank you very much for sharing and your insight, Mercedes de Rotligma. Okay,
With
ladies and
pleasure,
gentlemen.
Mbak.
Pardon, ma'am?
No, I just answer your thankful with pleasure.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, maybe we are going to continue for next we going to the next plenary season. For for Professor Dr. Akhtem Zelilov, are you here?
Yeah, sure.
Excuse me, sir. Professor Dr. Akhtem Zelilov. Excuse me, for Professor Dr. Akhtem Zelilov. Are you here, sir?
Hello. Warmest greetings. It's early
Hi,
now,
sir.
yes.
How are you?
Thank you, terima kasih. Warmest greetings from Republic of Crimea. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh from all Muslim communities of Crimea.
Yes, sir. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Are you okay there, sir?
Sure, sure. And I was hoping to deliver my speech at least in 2 hours or so, but the schedule is different for now. So,
Is it fine to present right now, sir?
sure, sure.
Okay. So before I ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the speaker today. He is Professor Dr. Akhtem Ezelov, Doctor of Philosophy in Philology and General Linguistic, full Professor of Social Science, Academician, Doctor of Science, Honoris Causa, full member of Regional Academy of Management in Kazakhstan, full member of Thai Association for Applied Linguistics, Thailand, TESOL Kuwait. His affiliation, Fernandeschi Kremen Federal University, Institute of Media Communication, Media Technologies, and the Psych Department of Advertising, Public Relations, and Publishing, the Chair of Media Communication. So, it is our honor to invite Professor Tern Zelilov to deliver his presentation.
Thank you very much. I'd like to share my screen now, if I may. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Mhm. Okay. So here we go, and multimodality in English media discourse, AI tools, and case of set expressions. And I'd like to make some introduction about my research, and just currently working on media communication department and teach currently English, journalism, media technologies, and social sciences and marketing as well. So contemporary English language media discourse is undergoing a profound transformation driven by the rapid integration of artificial intelligence and multimodal communication formats. New outlets, social media platforms, and digital journalism increasingly combine verbal, visual, auditory, and interactive elements that reshape how meaning is constructed and interpreted. Within this evolving communication landscape, set expressions, idioms, metaphors, formulaic sequences, and fixed phrases retain their central role but undergo new forms of adaptation, or contextualization and algorithmic manipulation. So this research examines the multimodal nature of modern English media discourse, the role of AI tools in producing and processing multimodal content, and how set expressions function and transform within these environments. So, theoretical foundations of multimodality. I'll try to be short here. So multimodality refers to the use of multiple semiotic resources, linguistic, visual, auditory, spatial, and interactive, to create and communicate meaning. Media texts rarely rely on language alone. Instead, they orchestrate elements such as images, layout, gesture in video format, sound design, and typographic emphasis. Multimodal discourse analysis. So tools of multimodal discourse analysis, MDAs, turn from systemic, functional, linguistic, and cognitive and media studies. And key analytical principles here are mode differentiation, examining speech, writing, imagery, and layout as distinct yet interrelated resources, meaning layering, understanding how visuals can reinforce, contradict, or extend linguistic content. And intersemiotic complementary, exploring how modes work together to produce cohesive discourse. AI tools in contemporary media production. AI systems now contribute to automated news writing and summarization, multimodal content production, image generation, audio narration, audio specific adaptive storytelling, and real-time captioning and translation. These tools not only shape production workflows, but also influence the linguistic style and multimodal composition of media artifacts. Computer vision and audio processing. So modern media relies heavily on visual analytics, scene recognition, sentiment detection, speech-to-text and text-to-speech systems, AI-assisted video editing and caption alignment. This leads to increasingly fine-grained synchronization of verbal and non-verbal modes, reinforcing the multimodal nature of digital narratives. So AI and social media multimodality. Platforms such as TikTok and YouTube encourage users practices shaped by AI-driven recommendation systems, caption and hashtag suggestions, auto-generated visual effects. As a result, multimodal patterns become algorithmically normalized and globally disseminated. And a case of set expressions in English media discourse. So role of set expressions, including idioms as break the ice, and catchphrases, slogans, and formulaic news language play several functions as a cognitive economy, shortening interpretation from familiar patterns, stylistic coloration, adding expressivity and tone, cultural anchoring, linking discourse to shared knowledge and ideologies. So persistence of idioms in multimodal environment. Despite technological shifts, idioms remain stable linguistic units. However, digital media transform their communicative trajectory. So into free. Here we underline free sports, visual idiomatization, idioms illustrated or animated as spill the tea, shown literally, mimetic adaptation, fixed expressions recontextualized through memes, GIFs, and reaction images, and hybrid forms, headlines and captions combining idiomatic expressions with AI-generated imaginary. And political and the new discourse, English language journalism frequently uses set expressions to frame events. A turning point, for example, the big picture, on the brink, a war of words. So these expressions can shape audience perception and introduce evaluate meaning, expressive, especially when paired with emotionally charged visuals. And here we go to case of text example. So memes. Okay. So large language models often rely on high frequency of set expressions in new-like or persuasive texts. So idioms or formulaic structures serve two functions: enhancing naturalness and alignment with journalistic style, and two, structuring multimodal messages where text must be cooperated with a visual contact, as drawing a line in the sand paired with an image conveying conflict. Transformation patterns caused by AI. AI systems may paraphrase idioms into visually literal forms, remix fixed expressions into novel metaphors, and intensify cliches through repeated algorithmic selection, create unexpected hybrid visuals or literal depictions of metaphorical idioms. So this leads to algorithmic conventionalization, a new process where AI-mediated repetition reinforces certain phrases across platforms. And the risks and challenges, here we go. Here we come across semantic delusion, frequent automated use weakness, idiom specificity, decontextualization, idioms applied without cultural or situational appropriateness, and misinformation through visuals. Literary imagery may distort metaphorical intention. And multimodal strategies in English media. So here we go to text-image relations. Typical multimodal patterns include anchoring, text explains ambiguous images. Two, relay, text and image contribute distinct parts of meaning. And irony, contrast between visual and linguistic cues. So set expressions usually, here we go, as a storm of criticism paired with chaotic visuals. And visual framing with idioms. So headlines frequently employ idioms to frame narratives visually as markers of shaky ground, imagery of instability, a ticking time bomb, countdown graphics, bridging the gap, visuals of connection and negotiation. AI tools amplify these tendencies through automated image suggestion algorithms. And here we go to new idiomacity. So new forms of idioms, they are visual idiomacity, sound symbolic patterns, and interactive idioms. UI metaphors like drag and drop and swipe left. So going to conclusion, multimodality in English media discourse reflects deeper transformations of how societies access and interpret information. AI tools act not only as mediators of multimodal content, but also as active agents shaping stylistic tendencies and the distribution of set expressions. Understanding these processes is essential for contemporary linguistics, media studies, and digital communication research. It reveals how traditional linguistic units persist, adapt, or transform within increasingly complex multimodal ecosystems. And here we go through the examples: idiomatic headline, ticking time bomb headline, and its analysis, showing expression and rhetorical frame. Example 2, the same idiom, but goes idiom in public health, institutional discourse. All of these threads represent a ticking time bomb and different contexts. Here we go through the cognitive economy and evaluative coloration of set expressions. Another example, idiom in sports, so pop culture media, walking ticking time bomb of dysfunction, Newton sounds alarm, and so on. So this here, we go through multimodality, multimodal synergy between images and words. So number 4, idiomatic title of academic media analysis on shaky ground. Here's an example. Another one here, we go through this chart, domain, source, and idiom expression. Here we go through journalism, public health reporting, sports media, and media studies or academic contemporary. And here we have several expressions, but different shade of context within reshaping in AI context. And here are my set expressions remain alive and functional, cross-domain reuse of idiomatic metaphors, multimodal potential, and framing and evaluative power. So media authors use idiomatic expressions not just to decorate text, but strategically to frame issues, shape audience reception, perception, and their signal stance: critical, alarmist, investigate, and skeptical. And here are some more examples, just from social media and popular media resources, illustrating different contexts. So, idioms in AI view, so they provide empirical grounding to theoretical claims. They illustrate cross-domain transferability. They show the framing power of idioms, and they highlight multi-model potential. So, sure, that's all from me today, and hope you have some questions. I will answer with great honor.
Okay,
And
thank you
for
very
the
much,
invitation.
Professor.
And sure, let me express my gratitude to the speakers, estimate speakers, to the moderators, and particularly to my friends and brothers, Dr. Andy Asrifan, Abdul Gafaro, Abdullah Zain, Sister Santiana, and Nurayeni, and Dr. Mutmina. They are all now also a part of my scientific community in Indonesia. Terima kasih.
Thank you very much, Professor, for your excellent presentation. Okay, maybe now we are going to the next section, that is Q&A for participants.
Excuse me.
What of you going to ask? Okay.
Excuse me. Assalamualaikum. Hello, Professor. I think my question would be aligned to with the previous paneling and your your material just before. So, like you said before that AI the algorithm start to do like the idiom and such. So is it so it can be doing the meaning making, like usually meaning making are humans doing, right? Like not AI generate or something. So how far AI should intervene in human role in meaning making, since it's already this advance on discursive field, discursive area. So that's my question.
Thank you very much for your question. Usually when we particularly interact with idioms, teaching English to Generation Z, they mostly obtain material through AI, through internet. But in our case, our generation, and usually university students, just of millennials generation, they go through the books and dictionaries, and I advise my students to work on dictionaries, because dictionaries, they are the set, and they give a clear explanation. Here we talk about the norm and variation. Sure, variance can be produced difference, and the case here is important is the meaning. So sure, mainly the set phrase just put in the dictionary is in the right order, but different shapes of and variants of idioms, sure, they can be. But you know that AI is not an AI we talk about here. New neurosites, neural connections. So as for example, Perplexity or ChatGPT, and even some different text resources. What they do, they usually take and rewrite texts. But sure, the important thing is the logical structure of the language and the deeper meaning. So sometimes idioms driven by AI, in order to show more express, they're on the contrary losing their expressive function. So idiom can be inside of a sentence, but it cannot be highlighted. So the purpose of the sentence can be just omitted or lost by AI, just comparing to human language.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, thank you, sir, for the answer, and thank you for the question. And maybe for other participants, any one of you wants to ask?
Here I have some questions here in chat. So here's how to draw. Should we draw the line between AI assistance and human creativity? So AI tools, they are just tools for helping people to create something new, or to depict, for example, idiom, just using the right pattern, or making a picture or so. But you know that the deepest meaning is very important. So just drawing up pictures and just finding new contexts will tend mainly just negatively influence on human just on human language. So maybe you can I come across these things, you know, that my students make presentations, they just confuse words or making stresses, just putting stresses in not in an appropriate way. And I think that that's the result of we say a ghost of AI in their speech. So AI is a tool, but human language is a language, and we communicate with the language that we write, speak, produce, think, communicate. AI is just a tool. That's my point.
Okay, thank you, sir, for the answer. And thank you for the question. For other participants, if then you are going to ask, you can
So
text.
yes, sure. And summing up my presentation, we live in the 21st century, and here we say that a person or a human who can interact socially with the social media, you know that that person could use several identities to identify themselves. So a number of identities, sharing them, but mainly the role. Here we go. That person is very important. Appearance of the person is important. AI is just a tool, so we can use it in order to enhance creativity, but mainly the important thing is a human brain, human thought we put. And for, of course, different contexts should be produced by a person, not by AI. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Anyone want to ask again? You can chat or you can directly talk in the screen.
So let me even just sum up with a phrase that read thousands of books and your speech will flow like a river. That's it. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for the invitation and kind speakers, and hope to meet you in advance, just in real life. And all the best to you, to all participants, and have a great day. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Thank you, sir, for your excellent presentation. Gentlemen, maybe we can go to the next presentation. For next, we are going to proceed to the plenary season 3, that Dr. Abdul Ghafur, MPD. Excuse me, good afternoon, Dr. Abdul Ghafur, MPD. Are you here right now?
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam, sir. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, maybe the time is yours, sir.
Yeah, let me share my material.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, it's already presented, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, ladies and gentlemen. For the first case, I would like to thank the committee that's already given me chance to deliver the material dealing with educational technology for sustainable development, bridging the digital divide in higher education, especially in English language teaching. Yeah. Okay. When talking about educational technology, it's going to not merely as a technological trend, yeah, but as a strategic instrument for sustainable development in higher educations. I mean, in the context of English language teaching, EdTech plays a decisive role in expanding, access to authentic language exposure, global communication, and learner centers instructions. Yeah, the title signal us as a critical concern while digital technologies offer unprecedented opportunities for English learning, such as online collaboration, AI power feedback, and global classroom. Not all students benefit equally. Yeah, not all students benefit equally, but sometimes the sustainable development in education demand that English learning opportunities are not limited to urbans, yeah. While a resource institution, but extended to marginalized and underconnected learners. By positioning education technology alongside sustainability, the slide emphasize, yeah, this slide emphasize long-term impact rather than short-term innovation. For ELT, for example, this means designing technology, enhance instruction that support continuous learning, linguistic, equity, and intercultural competence. English, for now, as a global language, should not become an additional marker in inequality. Instead, educational technology should function as a bridge, connecting learners to global knowledge and enhancing employability and support lifelong language development aligned with the goal and inclusive and qualitative education. Well, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, talking about the digital divide, such barriers to sustainable education. Yeah. In the beginning of this slides, I would like to introduce you that the digital divide as a structural obstacle to sustainable educations. particularly in English language learning, as ELT increasingly relies on digital resources such as online tags, learning management system, and video-based interaction, for example, and also AI-supported writing tools. In this case, students without stable internet access or appropriate devices are systematically disadvantaged. Well, in this slide, I would like to emphasize that technology-enhanced English learning is no longer optional, but it is embedded in how language are taught. Again, how language are taught, practiced, and assessed. However, when access is unequal, educational technology risks in reinforcing linguistic and educational inequality. In this case, students who cannot participate in online discussion, virtual exchange, or digital writing feedback, it will be going to lose opportunities to develop communicative competence and academic English skill. This slide invite the audience to rethink sustainability not as environmental rhetoric, but as educational continuity and fairness. In English language teaching, sustainability means ensuring that digital English learning ecosystem are resilient, inclusive, and also adaptable to diverse socio-cultural, socio-economic contexts, without addressing the digital divide, the promise of educational technology in English education remain aspirational rather than transformative. Okay, now, what is AI in educational technology? In the second slide here, I would like to focus on the conceptualizes artificial intelligence as a core drivers or innovation in educational technology, with direct implication for English language teaching. AI in ELT enable adaptive learning path, automated feedback on writing and also pronunciation, intelligent tutorial system, and also data-informed instructional decision. By framing AI as relevant rather than abstract, this slide position it as pedagogical partner rather than replacement for teachers. In English learning context, AI support differentiated instruction by responding to learners' proficiency level, learning pace, and linguistic needs. For example, AI-powered tool can provide instant corrective feedback on grammar, vocabulary usage, and also coherence. By allowing students to practice independently while teachers focus on higher order skills such as critical thinking and discourse development. Ladies and gentlemen, this slide also implicitly raises ethical and pedagogical question. How should AI-generated feedback be interpreted, validated, and integrated into human-led instruction? This framing encourages educators to approach AI critically by using it to enhance language learning quality, accessibility, and learners' autonomy, rather than treating as a natural or purely technical solution. Now, take a look on how AI used to enhance teaching and learning in higher education. I'm going to give strong relevance to English language teaching. The features such as natural language processing enable automated analysis of student writing and speech, offering feedback on accuracy, fluency, and coherence. Intelligent tutorial system support personalized English practice, particularly for grammar, vocabulary, and also reading comprehension. And then data-driven insight help instructor identify common linguistic difficulties, track progress, and refine instructional strategies. and also automation of administrative tasks, such as grading objective language exercises, frees teachers to focus on communicative activities and meaningful interaction. And also on enhanced resource discovery, allow students to access level of appropriate text, videos, and tasks aligned with their learning goal. From an LLT perspective, this slide underscore a shift from one size fit for all instruction to responsive learn-centered pedagogy. In this case, AI does not replace the human dimension of language learning, interactions, culture, and meaning, but it will be augmented. It will be augmented by providing scalable support. This integration is particularly valuable in large classes and blended or online English courses. Now, on digital transformation and on digital transformation and emerging technologies in education, yeah. This kind of situation on AI within a broader ecosystem of digital transformation on highlighting online learning platform, yeah, collaborative tool, professional development. For English language education, these technologies enable hybrid and remote learning model that transcend physical classroom. Online platforms support asynchronous reading, writing, and also learning practice. While collaborative tools facilitate peer feedback, group project, and intercultural communication in English. Emerging technologies expand the possibilities for authentic language use that allowing students to engage with global contact and international peers. Okay, on this slide also, I'm going to emphasize on professional development, that reminding us that technology is only effective when educators are digitally and pedagogically literate. In ELT, in English language teaching, this means training teachers to integrate tools strategically by selecting technologies that align with language objective rather than using them for novelty. And next, on digital transformation, therefore, is not about replacing traditional teaching, but redesigning English learning experiences to be more flexible, inclusive, and responsive to learners' realities. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, on the digital divide in higher educations, in this slide, I would like to discuss you by presenting the digital divide as multidimensional. In English language learning, inequality is not limited to internet access, but extend to digital literacy and meaningful use of technology. The student may have devices but lack the skill to navigate academic platform. I'm sure about these ones. Yeah, not all the students knowing about this one. So in this case, the student have devices but lack the skill to navigate academic platform. For example, all the student for today has that kind of smartphone, but yeah, lack of them use the smartphone as in the context of learning. Sometimes they use only for social media, or even though just for some kind of photographic for the what's that self photography. Okay, the COVID-19 pandemic exposed these disparities, particularly in ELT context where interactions and feedback are essential. Students without stable connectivity struggle to participate in speaking activities, access multimedia input, or submit written assignment. Yeah. This material, I would like to emphasize you that addressing the digital divide requires system solution policy support, infrastructure investment, and also capacity building. For ELT practitioners, it highlights the importance of designing low bandwidth, mobile-friendly, and offline accessible learning material to ensure continuity and equity in English education. Well, ladies and gentlemen, on towards one's education gap, these visual slides powerfully contrast digitally privileged and marginalized learning environment. In the context of ELT, it represents unequal access to English exposures, practice, and global communication. Students in this case, well-resourced setting benefit from interactive platform, AI feedbacks, and authentic language input, while others rely on limited text-based instruction. This gap affects not only language proficiency, but also confidence, digital identity, and future employability. English in this case, as a global lingua franca, become both an opportunity and a barrier. It is invite us reflection on ethical responsibility. How can educators and institutions ensure that the English learning through EdTech does not deepen global inequality, but it is reinforce the moral dimension of educational technology adoption, urging stakeholders to view digital inclusion as a prerequisite for educational justice. Next, fortunately, why bridging the divide matters for sustainable development. Okay, I'm going to stress on the explicitly link educational technology and ELT to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 4. That the quality education for all English language component is increasingly tried to participation in global knowledge, economies, academic mobility, and also AI-driven job market. Without digital access, learners are excluded from these opportunities. The slide argues that digital exclusion today leads to economic marginalizations. In ELT, I mean in English language teaching, bridging the divide means ensuring that students can access digital English resources, develop academic literacy, and also engage with global discourse communities. It reframes English learning as a social investment rather than a private privilege. So sustainable development therefore depend on equitable access to language education that's supported by inclusive technology policies. Next, how educational technology transform access and inclusion. Okay, I'm going to highlight that educational technologies' capacity to democratize English language learning, such kind of MOOCs, mobile application, and offline digital content that enable learners in remote areas to access quality English instruction. Adaptive learning technologies personalize instructions, diverse proficiency level and learning style. Virtual labs and simulation support contextualized language use without expensive infrastructure. For reality, this transformation shifts the focus from scarcity to possibility. In this case, English learning becomes more flexible, self-paced, and accessible beyond traditional classroom. And also, it's going to reinforce us the idea that educational technology, when thoughtfully implemented, can reduce rather than reproduce inequality. By providing inclusivity is placed at the center of design and policy. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, on the educational technology democratize educations, yeah, by expanding reach, personalized learning, and also virtual infrastructure that I already explained just now dealing with the MOOCs. Okay, now for today we have to understand that we are standing on the position on the learning without borders. It going to focus on us that the transformation shift the focus from scarcity to possibility. English learning become more flexible. Yeah, English learning become more flexible. As we know that there are so many kind of application that make of the user of the English learners going to easily learn about the English itself, dealing with the communications, dealing with the structure, dealing the writing, and others. Okay, next. For the educational revolution for today, we have to know about the historical context, paradigm shift, interactive learning, innovative teaching method, global reach, and also MOOCs. Okay, it will become up to the teachers and also for the students by facing the fast revolution of the system of learning for today's. Okay. Okay, I jump to the key barriers. Yeah. The key barriers to overcome that infrastructure gap, and then literacy deficit, and also privacy and security concern. Okay, it will be something that a very important thing for us to give some kind of this solutions, yeah, by make unreliability internet connectivity and share devices, shortage, plagiarism, and low income areas and others. Okay, next. Finally, I would like to conclude my presentation by educational revolutions, challenge and solutions. We have to facing on a balance optimism that realism by acknowledging persistent challenge, infrastructure gaps, digital literacy deficit, and privacy concern remain significant barriers to effective EdTech use in ELT. And also unreliable internet limit synchronous speaking practice, limited teachers training reduce on pedagogical impact, and also data privacy issues raise ethical concern in AI supported language platform. However, the material frame this challenge as solvable through coordinates policy, institutional commitment, and also innovative design that for English educators, this means advocating for inclusive infrastructure, engaging in continuous professional development, and adopting ethical learner-centered technologies that actually the educational technology revolution in reality is not automatic. It requires intentional, reflective, and also sustainable action. I think that's all my material. I back to the moderators.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Abdul Ghaffur. Thanks for your excellent presentation. Let's go on to the next section, ladies and gentlemen. For the next section, that's Q&A. For the one going to ask, you can chat or you can directly talk in this slide. Okay, there is a question here. Let me read the question. Dear Dr. Abdul Ghaffur NPD, what strategies can be implemented to reduce the gap in AI utilization between universities with a high technological resource and those with limited resource?
Yeah, thank you for the question. It's interesting material that actually I'm going to share. Okay, next. What strategies can be implemented to reduce the gap in AI utilization between universities with high technology resource and those with limited resources? Okay. We have to know first that reducing the gap in AI utilization between well-resourced universities and those with limited resources is less a question of buying better machine and more a question of designing smarter system. The strategy here has to be structural, pedagogical, and ethical at the same time. I mean, first thing that I'm going to share with you and often underestimate on the strategy is by prioritizing low cost, high impact AI, cloud-based AI tool, open source platform, and free premium educational application allow institutional with minimal infrastructure to experiment with AI without massive capital investment. Many of us think when AI run in the cloud, universities do not need advanced local servers. They need stable. Yeah, they need stable. Even if modes, connectivity and clear usage guideline, this level is playing field more effectively than hardware-driven approach. Secondly, the capacity building matters more than technology itself. Many resource limited universities possesses basic digital tool but lack AI literacy among lecturers and also administrators. The targeted professional development, short micro credential, peer mentoring, and cross-institutional training can significantly increase AI adoption. In this case, when educators understand how AI can support teaching, assessment, and academic management, the innovation becomes pedagogical rather than purely technical. Third, the strategic partnership also powerful equalizers by make collaboration between high resource and low resource universities through that kind of consortia, shared platform, and joint research project that enable knowledge transfer and access, yeah, and share access to AI tool. For example, in international agencies, yeah, industry partners, and open universities that can function as bridge, not donors, fostering sustainable rather than dependent system. For example, today's meeting, yeah, for today's meeting, so many kind of keynote speaker from abroad, yeah, from overseas, they come to this kind of event, yeah. It is because of collaboration. Again, it's because of collaboration. All the volunteers come to this kind of valuable meeting will be a kind of innovation. So in this case, the innovation itself become pedagogical rather than purely technical. Okay, and the next one, the policy alignment is essential. So in this case, nation and also institutional policies should encourage equitable AI adoption by funding shared infrastructure, supporting open educational resources, and setting ethical standards for data use without policy support. In this case, AI initiative remain fragmented and short-lived. So finally, by implementation should be context responsive. Okay, the strategy on the universities with limited resources benefit more when AI is used to solve immediate educational problems such as large class management, yeah, formative feedback, student support, rather than pursuing at fun, but in practical application. So when AI serve real need, adoption become sustainable, not symbolic. Okay, I think that's all. And the next question will be, how can educational technology help bridge the digital divide and support sustainable development in higher education, given by Dewi Rahmawati, ya? Okay. Educational technology can help bridge the digital divide and support sustainable development in higher education when it is treated not as a luxury add-on, but as an instrument of educational justice and long-term capacity building. As its most basic level, educational technology expand access by online learning platform, open educational resources, and mobile-friendly applications that allow universities to reach students who are geographically remote or economically constrained for higher education system. Especially in developing context, this means learning is no longer entirely dependent on physical campuses, expensive libraries, or face-to-face delivery. When designed for low bandwidth, for example, and offline use, educational technology can reduce exclusion rather than amplify it. Beyond access, educational support sustained by improving the quality and efficiency of learning. Adaptive system in this case, learning analytic AI-supported feedback help institutions personalize instruction at scale. So in this case, in higher education, this is critical for reducing dropout rate by supporting diverse learners, using limited teaching resources that more effectively, and sustainable development here is not only environmental or economic, but pedagogical. I mean, students learn better, faster, and with greater relevance to future skill. So I would like to underline here that educational technology also strengthens human capital. I mean, the digital platform enable continuous professional development for lecturers, cross-institutional collaboration like today's event, and global knowledge exchange. Yeah, this resilient academic ecosystem rather than isolated institution. When the student gain digital data and AI literacy alongside disciplinary knowledge, they are better prepared for labor market shaped by automation and global competition. So mostly educational technology contribute to social sustainability when guided by inclusive policy, by bridging the digital divide that require investment in and infrastructure, digital literacy, and ethical governance. When this element align, educational technology become a bridge to equitable participation in higher education and a foundation for sustainable societal development. Okay, I think that's my response, Mbak Dewi Rahmawati, ya, Dewi Rahmawati question. And the next question come up from Iswah, ya, Iswah Zorifah. Okay. Mr. Abdul Ghaffur, I would like to ask you about to what extent can AI-driven personalization limit student critical thinking and autonomy by overguiding the learning process? Okay, that's an interesting question. Okay, now take a look on AI-driven personalization that sit on a fascinating knife edge. Used wisely, it can support learners' autonomy and deepen understanding. So, used uncritically, it can quietly narrow student intellectual agency. The extent to which its limit critical thinking depend less on the technology itself and more on how pedagogical authority is distributed between human and algorithm. Now take a look on AI system personalized learning by predicting what a student needs next based on a past behavior. This is efficient, but it is also embedded assumption when algorithm continuously recommend content, pace, and also difficulty. Students in this case may stop making learning decisions themselves. That over time, this can weaken metacognitive skill by knowing the ability to plan, monitor, and also evaluate one's own learning. So in this case, the critical thinking thrives on uncertainty, struggle, and also choice. Excessive guidance can smooth away exactly the friction that produces independent judgment. So there is no there is also the risk of cognitive narrowing that many AI systems optimize for correctness and completion rather than reasoning quality. In such environment, students learn to follow algorithmic choice instead of questioning resources, comparing perspective, challenging feedback. So the learners become a compliant user rather than an active knower. This is particularly concerning in higher education where the goal is not mastery. Again, the goal is not mastery, predefined answer, but the ability to generate, critique, and revise ideas. So, however, this limitation is not inevitably. AI become restrictive only when it replaces human judgment and learner's agency when designed as scaffold rather than a script. AI here can actually enhance autonomy. For example, systems that offer multiple learning pathways, invite reflection on feedback, or allow students to override recommendation, encourage critical judgment rather than passive acceptance. But the real issue then, pedagogical design, if AI is framed as an oracle, it diminishes thinking. If it is framed as a tool for experimentation and reflection, it amplifies it. In higher education, safeguarding critical thinking requires deliberately leave space for choice, ambiguity, and disagreement. And disagreement area where human reasoning, not algorithmic certainty, but it must remain in charge. Okay, I think that's all my answer dealing with three questions. I back to the moderators. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for all the answers and thank you for all the questions. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will now have a break time for lunch and prayer, and this event going to start in 1 p.m. And for all the presenters, maybe all of you are going to present earlier than the time that has been decided by all the committees. Okay, well, that's all for me, ladies and gentlemen. And last I say, see you in the next session.
dalam menjalankan kepercayaan vertikal dan mulai mempengaruhi perilaku manusia interaksi sosial. menghargai kisah-kisah yang telah lama hilang dan menjadikannya inspirasi bagi masyarakat. Agar menjadi spektrum luas interaksi sosial, budaya, sejarah, seni, filsafat, dan bahasa. Itulah ilmu sosial dan humaniora. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat datang di Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora Universitas Nurul Jati, penyelenggara pendidikan yang berdedikasi untuk mencetak pemimpin kritis dan agen perubahan dalam masyarakat. Bergabunglah dengan kami dalam perjalanan mengeksplorasi dunia ilmu sosial dan humaniora sebagai wadah mana gagasan dan inovasi bertemu untuk membentuk masa depan yang lebih baik. Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora sebagai unit pengelola program Nurul Jati menawarkan berbagai program yang dirancang untuk mempersiapkan kelas yang interaktif guna menciptakan lingkungan yang kondusif untuk eksplorasi intelektual. Di Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora, pembelajaran menjadi baik di dalam dan di luar kelas melalui berbagai komunitas, organisasi mahasiswa, dan kegiatan ekstrakurikuler. Mahasiswa mendapatkan kesempatan untuk mengembangkan keterampilan kepemimpinan, berkolaborasi dalam proyek, dalam pendidikan yang memberi dampak bagi masyarakat nasional global. Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora Universitas Nurul Jati, tempat di mana masa depan dipersiapkan, dibentuk, dan perubahan dimulai.
Hidup.
Ya. Di grup sudah, di grup presenter. Di sini di grup. Sudah kan ya?
Sudah.
Lulusan kehidupan manusia yang kaya dan beragam, berdasar pada eksplorasi yang mendalam, mengajarkan kepercayaan, Kan gitu nggak? Sudah sih. Perilaku manusia hingga interaksi sosial. Menghargai kisah-kisah yang telah lama hilang dan menjadikannya inspirasi di masa depan. Hadir menjadi spektrum luas interaksi sosial, budaya, sejarah, seni, filsafat, dan bahasa, juga ilmu sosial dan ilmu orang. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat datang di Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora Universitas Nurul Jadi. Menyelenggara pendidikan tinggi yang berdedikasi untuk menjadi meraih 2 sertifikat ICEET untuk 2 kategori, serta bekerja sama dengan mitra luar negeri dan kampus internasional seperti Jepang, Cina, Taiwan, Malaysia, dan masih banyak lagi. Universitas Nurul Jadi juga menempati peringkat 5 besar perguruan tinggi terbaik dan ulama. Tidak hanya itu, program belajar lintas budaya membuka peluang bagi mahasiswa untuk memperluas wawasan, berinteraksi dengan dunia global.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya Profesor Dr. Anya Sandarul, pelaku laboratorium dari Atas Kampung. Kami kampus berbasis pesantren memiliki visi untuk menjadikan universitas yang berdampak untuk dan sejahtera. Kami berusaha berkomitmen dan sungguh-sungguh untuk memberikan pelayanan terbaik bagi Anda. Mari bergabung bersama. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Fakultas Teknik merupakan salah satu fakultas yang ada di Universitas Indonesia. Sampai dengan saat ini, Fakultas Teknik telah memiliki 4 program studi, antaranya program studi teknik informatika, program studi teknologi informasi, program studi teknik elektro, dan program studi teknik industri pertanian.
Selamat datang di Fakultas Kesehatan. Jadi sebagai fakultas yang menjadi lembaga kesehatan yang unggul dan berkelanjutan, kami mengembangkan pidana perguruan tinggi di bidang kesehatan, kesehatan komplementer dan kesehatan spiritual berlandaskan nilai-nilai teknologi dan Pancasila sampai lulus. Melalui program studi perawatan, profesi nurse, dan kedokteran, kami membekali para mahasiswa dengan pembelajaran berbasis kompetensi, fasilitas laboratorium yang modern, dan juga dari rumah sakit mitra, dan juga berbasis pengabdian masyarakat berbasis kesehatan. Program itu kan kompetisi jadi fakultas ini bukan berkaitan pengembangan leader yang sosial humaniora memantapkan trilogi dan Pancasila pesantren kredit fakultas sosial dan humaniora yang memiliki konsentrasi keilmuan pendidikan pada sains dan matematika, ekonomi serta hukum hadir cetak generasi yang dan sosial berpikir kritis dan turut memberikan dalam masyarakat Indonesia Fakultas Agama Islam menaungi 9 program studi yang berliputi pada tafsir, Islam, politika, ekonomi syariah, dan komunikasi yang dilakukan. Sebagai fakultas yang datang pesantren dan nilai-nilai Indonesia, kami membentuk yang berilmu, berkarakter, dan berdaya cipta generasi yang bukan hanya menguasai ilmu agama secara mendalam, tapi juga mampu menjawab tantangan zaman dengan inovasi dan integritas. Dasar dan Indonesia itu strategis dalam pengembangan sumber daya manusia yang berkualitas. Penggunaan teknologi dan yang sangat besar. Maka dalam yang menghadirkan strategi yang mampu berkompetisi. Sehingga dapat memberikan kontribusi positif bagi bangsa dan negara.
Iya, dulu
Selain menyediakan studi juga berbagai jalur beasiswa dan beasiswa berprestasi, mulai dari beasiswa akademik maupun non-akademik. Untuk kalian yang ingin bergabung bersama kami di kampus berkarya baru, dapat tanggal mahasiswa baru pertama akan mulai tanggal 1 sampai dengan 30 Mei 2026. Untuk peserta kedua,
Ya ini ya.
jangan lupa pantau terus media sosial
Islam.
Muslimat yang unggul dan inovasi.
Masa pegang
Menjaga wudhu
Iya lah.
sangat penting.
Menjaga wudhu banget ya, Mbak. Iya, Mbak.
Universitas Teknologi itu dalam Python Probolinggo merupakan kampus berbasis STM
Mbak, ini tuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat datang di kampus Berkarya Universitas Nurul Jadid. Tempat di mana lokasi dilahirkan, di mana Universitas Nurul Jadid berhasil meraih 2 sertifikasi ISO untuk 2 kategori, serta bekerja sama dengan mitra luar negeri dan kampus internasional seperti Jepang, Cina, Taiwan, Malaysia, dan masih banyak lagi. Universitas Nurul Jadid juga dapat peringkat 5 besar perguruan tinggi terbaik dan 20 ulama. Tidak hanya itu, produk pelajaran lintas budaya membuka peluang bagi mahasiswa untuk luas wawasan, berinteraksi dengan dunia global dan membawa nilai pesantren berkaca internasional.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya Profesor Dr. Haji Hasan Darul, selaku Wakil Rektor 3 Universitas Teknologi. Kami kampus berbasis sampai memiliki visi untuk menjadikan universitas yang terbaik global sejarah. Kampus berkomitmen untuk memberikan pelayanan terbaik bagi mari percaya publik bersama. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Fakultas Teknik merupakan salah satu fakultas yang ada saat ini fakultas teknik setelah memiliki fakultas tadi. Ada fakultas tadi informatika, fakultas tadi teknologi, teknik elektro.
Berapa WB itu kalau pokoknya pindahin ya. Apa? 2000 dulu.
Nanti diganti dah.
2000 Randi
Jangan aja.
Randi
masih lagi sebagai fakultas yang terjadi pada kesehatan yang tumbuh dan kesehatan. Kami mengembangkan kesehatan komplementer dan kesehatan spiritual berlandaskan
ketiga cuma di sini yang kemudian
sampai di rumah. Melalui program studi keperawatan, profesional, bermanfaat, kami membekali para mahasiswa dengan pembelajaran berbasis kompetensi, fasilitas laboratorium yang modern dan juga dari rumah Fitra, dan juga berbasis pengabdian masyarakat berbasis
dari mana enggak semua anak-anak. Saya bisa ya. Apa?
Nah, untuk visi dari sekolah tersebut dan dalam pengembangan yang berbayaran landaskan trilogi dan panjang sadar pesantren Jadid, Fakultas Sosial dan Humaniora yang memiliki konsentrasi pendidikan bahasa Inggris dan matematika, ekonomi serta hukum, AD, cetak generasi yang peka terhadap realitas sosial, berpikir kritis, dan turut memberikan kontribusi positif dalam pembangunan masyarakat Indonesia dan seluruhnya. Fakultas Agama Islam menaungi 9 program studi yang meliputi Al-Quran dan Tafsir, Islam, pendidikan, ekonomi syariah, dan komunikasi pikiran Islam. Sebagai fakultas yang berdasar pada praktik pesantren dan nilai-nilai kemanusiaan, kami berkomitmen membentuk insan yang berilmu, berkarakter, dan berdaya juang generasi yang bukan hanya menguasai agama secara mendalam, tapi juga mampu menjawab tantangan zaman dengan inovasi dan integritas. Sarjana mulia memiliki peran strategis dalam pengembangan sumber daya manusia yang berkualitas dan perkembangan teknologi dan globalisasi yang semakin pesat, maka sarjana mulia menghadirkan strategi adaptif yang mampu berkompetisi di era digital dan global. Dan demikian, pasca sarjana mulia berupaya menghasilkan lulusan yang berjiwa dan akademik serta pengetahuan sosial sehingga dapat memberikan kontribusi positif bangsa kita.
Sip. Berlanggan kumpulan na Serena. Iya.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat datang di kampus Merdeka Baru.